Beefsteak Tagalog is a classic Filipino dish of delicious
I want to
steak
see what this was all about.
marinated in umami-packed goodness that is seared, braised, and served in a rich, savory sauce over rice. And honestly, we could eat it.
The audio too
well,
loud? Hold
I
on.
found a few ways to make it even better using a few insider cooking techniques. Let's start by
I'll turn
slicing
it down
up
a
the
little
meat.
bit.
Sound good? Let's cook. I've got
You
about
never
3
fall
pounds
asleep?
of boneless pasture-raised
So you're in bed right now,
ribeye
just trying to
steak.
knock
Now,
out.
this has excellent intramuscular fat, or as us old school guys call it, marbling.
Dude, that
and
looks
has a
hella
wonderful
good.
fat cap around the outside.
Just
The
lurk in the
best
chat.
options to do this are using a chef's knife or a
It's like
boning knife.
ASMR.
I'm going to use the latter. Now start about the middle to third of the way down the steak and slice it as thin as possible on a wide bias.
What kind of knife is he
for
using?
very
Look how
thin,
thin he's making that.
very big cuts. Now don't worry, they will absolutely shrink up when searing, so if they seem to be a little big to you,
Nah.
don't
I
sweat
gotta learn
it.
how to cut
And
like
just
that. I mean, I
continue
just
to
buy the meat
slice
already cut like that at the
until
deli.
you've used up everything. Now if you do come to those bigger chunks of fat around the outside, feel free to cut them away.
Oh, the only way to
or
learn how to
even
cook
on
is
the
just
inside,
doing it.
remove them
I didn't know how to
and
cook, and
continue to work around.
I mean, I still don't know how to cook
slice.
like really
What we're
good,
gonna
but
do at this
I
stage
can make
is just
basic
set it
stuff
to the
now.
side on a plate. And don't worry, all that fat will render out when we sear it. And because
You know what
we
helps
just
too?
cut up
When
a
you
bunch of
get
raw
those food
beef, we're gonna clean the
preparation
cutting board with some
boxes,
hot water and soap.
like
And
HelloFresh,
now for the
they
marinade,
they give you
I
that
have a
stuff
large
already
bowl,
made
and I'm
or
adding
with
in
instructions.
a half cup of Filipino
Ooh.
soy sauce, which is also known as toyo. Now you can pick this up from an Asian market or order
Hell
online.
yeah, that's the best stuff right
Closest thing
there.
you'll get in a local grocery.
Sarap laniman or lanaman. I can't even say it right. Oh man, but it's toyo, dato puti. The only
Now,
thing
the
I could do.
next ingredient is called
But now I
a
could just reach in and
calamansi,
grab the egg
which is
when
essentially
after it's
a
boiled. I
Filipino
don't have to
lime
use
and
tongs or
can be
anything.
quite hard to find if you don't have an
Get
Asian
used to the
market
heat.
nearby. So some great substitutes are lemons or limes, or perhaps
1 minute I
what I'm
got.
gonna
Oh,
do
you're doing
is
Korean
use
lessons?
a
That's sick. I
combination
need to
of
do
both.
that too.
I'm just going to quickly slice these, and I'm going to extract as much juice as possible using one of these
1/3
citrus
cup.
extractors. So I use 2 limes and 1 lemon, which gets you right to that 3rd cup mark, which is exactly what I'm looking for. Next
Yo.
up, I'm going to finely grate in 4 cloves of garlic. Then I'm going to finely
He
grind
made that
about
look hella
3/4
juicy.
teaspoon of black pepper.
My
Now,
limes
Sam
never
did
come out
say
that
this is
juicy.
a big time underrated ingredient. And after testing this quite a few times, I have to say,
Yeah, I need the Korean lessons, man.
agree. Now next up, I'm adding in 2 teaspoons looking for. Now of course, like I always say in all my marinades, give it a taste. Immediately,
He looked like he enjoyed that.
how this would be so good with beef. The umami from the soy, the citrus, the garlic, the pepper, the sugar for the little bit of sweetness, like all those flavors combined, you gotta taste it. That's how you become better cooks. You know where things are at every
I
single
mean, that's the
stage.
basics
All
for
right,
almost
so
every Filipino marinade.
at this stage, I'm going to add in the meat and gently mix it together.
Besides
making
beef
sure
stick,
not to tear
beef
apart any
steak,
of those
or
thin
beef
slices.
stick
We
too.
want them intact and as big as possible. Next up, I'm just going to cover it with plastic wrap and put in the fridge to marinate for as little as 1 hour and up to 24 hours. Remember, the longer the marinade, the better. For me,
Dude, it's
I'm
always
going
next day.
overnight,
I do
which
that
is
till
gonna
the
be
next
about
day,
12 to
every
16
time.
hours.
Hours I
Time,
do mix
I'm gonna
it
show you
though.
how to make
I don't
the
know
most
about just
perfect
leaving
rice
it.
of all time. In a 2-quart sauce pot, I'm going to add in 3 3/4 cup of water.
This
Just gonna
this dude
crank
thinks
the
he can
heat
make the
up high.
perfect
What we
bowl
wanna do is bring it
of
to a boil.
rice. Let me see.
However, in the meantime, here's a great cooking technique I learned from a good friend from Egypt. We're going to toast up 2 cups of jasmine rice for 5 to 6 minutes in a
What?
2-quart pot over low-medium heat. We're just going to
Say
stir
what?
it every 30 to 45 seconds. Now, this process will help reduce cook time, it adds flavor, and
You toast
prevents
it
crumbling.
first?
Now, I asked Sam about a traditional side dish outside of rice for the beefsteak, and he told me in Filipino cuisine, if there's another side dish, it's considered a main entree, so no need to do anything else. Now, when the rice is
Yeah, there's no
done
such thing as
cooking,
side
it
entrees.
should look milky white like this. On the right is uncooked, and on the left is that toasted up, milky colored toasted rice.
Huh.
Perfection. All right, once the water is
And the rice
boiling,
still
we're gonna
penetrates
add
it?
it right to the pot of rice. We're gonna stir it and gently season it with a little salt to season it up. Then just simply
But you didn't even
add
wash
the
the
lid,
rice.
cook it over low heat for 12 to 14 minutes. That's all. Once it is done cooking, remove the lid, and then using a fork, we want to fluff it up to break it up. And as you can see,
I mean, that looks pretty
no
good.
clumping whatsoever. Love this technique. And because I always want to make cooking more enjoyable, I'm going to try a little bit. Yep, Perfect. Onions and 2 of them.
Sweet.
Now, my main reason for using these onions is they're served a little bit on the rawer side, and sweets have way less of that onion bite that you get from yellows and reds. So after you slice off the ends and peel it, we're going to slice them thick, but don't break them up. Leave them
Yeah, I
whole
like yellow
this.
onions
I'll
too.
explain why in just a second, but first, let's smash
Hey,
and
what's up,
finely
IoT?
mince up 2 garlic cloves.
Evening, man.
All right, now it's time to cook, and pay close attention because it's going to move very fast. In a large carbon steel or cast iron skillet, I'm going to add in 2 to 3 tablespoons of a high smoke point oil, and for me, it's going to be avocado. We're going to turn the heat to high to medium high-ish, and once it begins to lightly smoke, we're going to add in those onions.
Oh yeah, that's a real cast iron too. You can tell he hasn't
Just gonna
really
sear
washed
them
it.
on one side for about 2 minutes
You're
completely.
not supposed to wash a cast
unsliced.
iron pot.
Them holding together will ensure at least one side develops a nice brown caramelized color across the whole thing. All right, let's come back with a spatula, flip it. Yeah, just that little bit of brown like this. This little technique adds so much more flavor to the final end of this dish, but it will still hold on to that
Welcome back,
crunch
Spots.
that everyone wants. What we're going to do at this stage is set the onions to the side, and then let's
I'm back to
head
gold
back
one,
over
ILT.
to the pan. Be sure there's enough oil to completely coat the bottom.
It took the fifth spot in gold two. I don't know why
Like this, and I'll tell
the
you
difference
why in
between
just a
gold two
second,
and
but
gold
first,
one is
let's start to
like
add in those
freaking
marinated slices completely
like night and
across
day
the
though,
pan.
because
Now,
gold
we're
two
only
felt
gonna cook this
too
for
easy.
20 to 30 seconds per side. So this pan needs to be insanely hot. We're looking for some browning.
I shouldn't say that though, because I came down to the wire almost.
A little bit around the outside edges. This just means more flavor into the dish. Hot pan. Don't forget it.
But no,
Now,
even
the
then I was
beautiful
already
thing about
promoted.
using
I was already in
ribeye is this
promotion
is
by the time I
all
was
the
like
cooking that it'll need. It's
3/4 of my
already a
games through.
very tender cut. No need to cook it past this point. It'll be juicy, tender.
Yeah,
and
I just need to
loaded
play
with
more.
Flavor. Now, of course, you have to do this in batches unless you have.
I play better now that I've taken a break and played Subnautica for a while.
Quickly, it really only takes
I think I
about
just
10 minutes or so.
my brain just
If you need
overloaded.
more oil in between sears, add a little bit. No problem. Once all the meat is done cooking, let's set it to the side on a plate. We're going to add in a touch more oil, maybe just a teaspoon or so. And let's add in those 2 cloves of finely minced garlic. Turn the heat down to low. We're going to cook it just until it becomes fragrant, which only takes about 30 to 45 seconds.
Probably less than
Now,
that.
let's add
You
in
can
the
burn garlic
leftover
hella
marinade,
quick.
but we still
Like,
need
turns
more
bitter.
sauce here. So I'm hitting it with an additional 1/4 cup of
Oh, okay,
that
but he's so
Pollo
okay.
Filipino
Oh, he's making
soy
more.
sauce, the juice of
He's making
1
more
lemon, 1
sauce. I
teaspoon
see.
of sugar, and instead of the classical water, I'm adding in 1.5 cups of beef stock. I've got an awesome recipe you can check out if you want.
What's up,
This
Tico?
will just
Oh, he's
make it
making Filipino beef
much
stick.
richer. Now, last but not least, don't forget a little bit of pepper. I'm going to grind in about a 1/4 teaspoon. Now, what we're going to do is crank the heat up to high and boil for 2 to 3 minutes.
I've learned how to
to
cook
use
it
and
differently,
concentrate those
but this dude
flavors.
did it from scratch.
Additionally, this
He
is
cut up
good
some
to add
ribeye
back in the cooked sirloin
and
because
sliced
it's a
it himself.
tougher
Like, I
cut
need to
of
do
meat
that.
needs time to tenderize.
I usually-
Now, in
I
the
just get that shit
meantime,
from the
I'm gonna
deli,
make a
already cut.
slurry of 3 tablespoons of cornstarch mixed with 3 tablespoons of water. I want the sauce to be a
Ooh,
little
that's
bit thicker so that
smart.
it completely coat everything. I don't want it watered down. It's too delicious just to sink through to the bottom. So let's take the slurry back over to the cooktop. Sauce smells amazing. We're going to add in the slurry and it will immediately thicken up. And in the
That's
end, you'll have a
smart.
very rich sauce that has beautiful viscosity, just like
That makes me want to go try and make it tomorrow.
just like everything. Now at this stage, we're going to add back in the beef and the onions, and we're going to gently fold them together.
Oh, this
The onions, while doing this, will
This
break
man's legit.
naturally, which is what we want. Once it's completely coated, you know I have to try a little bit of
Oh
it.
hell yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Dude,
That is ridiculous. Oh my god.
I've never had beef
And
stick
now
like that.
to
that
plate
was
this
like
up,
marinated,
you
or
can
not marinated, but like
absolutely
that
serve it
saucy.
right on a plate, or you can do it in a bowl.
That looks
Totally up to you.
like Korean
Now,
barbecue
it's very
almost.
classic for those onions to be served right on top. Perfectly brown, nice crunch still happening here.
You
And of
put it
course,
back
why
in? I
not
thought it was
a
just
little
gonna
bit
leave it on the
more
side.
sauce? And in not so classic nature, I'm just gonna hit it with a punch of green so some sliced green onions are going on top. No harm, no foul done. And of course, don't forget to serve with the
I
rice
think
on
that
the
might be a
side, or
little
you
too
can serve the
saucy for me,
beef
but
right on top. It's
oh, that
totally
rice.
up to
Okay,
you.
I'll give him the rice.
Regardless,
I'll-
it's time to get in this.
He cooked it weird. I was like, wait, what?
Always a
He
crowd
toasted the rice
pleaser.
first
Now, if you're
before
craving
cooking
more
it.
of those Filipino flavors, my chicken adobo is a must try.
No,
Check out
bro,
my
he made
recipe
chicken
video.
adobo too. Hold on, we gotta see that one. I gotta see this one. He made chicken adobo too. Might have to go. I have school tomorrow at, and like Holy crap! Good luck with that.
Chicken adobo is a super classic Filipino dish that has an
Let's see how he does
incredibly
this, man.
easy to make marinade that renders big time.
Adobo's like the
delicious
easiest thing to
flavors.
cook.
It's easy, it's good, and you should definitely make it. So I did quite a bit of research.
I don't know about
just
the
to
green
make
onions
sure
that
I
he
got
already
this
showed on
recipe
there.
Right. I even
It looks
called
really
my buddy
wrong.
Sam from Chicago, who's Filipino and his family's from the Philippines, and he gave me a few pointers, which I will absolutely include in this recipe. And if you're wondering how you would say chicken adobo in the Philippines, it's abadong manok. Now I probably butchered that, but you know how bad I
Yeah,
am
you
about
sure did.
pronunciations. Hopefully I got a little bit close.
Adobo
What we
manok.
need to do is start off with that marinade prep. Sound good? Let's cook.
He just said it in
So
one
we're
word
gonna
and it's 2
double
words.
up this marinade, and I'm gonna
Other
tell
than
you
that,
why
it
in a
was
little bit,
perfectly
but
fine.
First, we are gonna slice is julienne it, and this is exactly how you do it. If you want more of an explanation, check out my video on cutting onions.
Bruh, I can't do that.
Once you get towards the end, just flip it.
I'm already
over so
crying
it's
right
not
now.
Rocking back and forth, and then take all of these onions.
I'm
and
already
put 'em in a
crying by the
large
time you
bowl,
cut it that far.
because now we need to prep up some garlic cloves. I'm using a little bit more garlic than maybe a typical recipe because I love the flavor that it provides. You can
My
scale
man.
up or down, totally up to you.
You never
Slice
have
off
too much
medium
garlic.
using the side of your knife. Just give it a quick smash. Do this to
Yo,
all the
Sauce,
garlic
what's
and
up,
then add
man?
it to that bowl with the onions. And now for some liquid, I'm going to be using some dark soy sauce. Dark soy sauce would be classical in this recipe.
Is he
If you only
using
have
toyo or
light,
no?
Fine. If you only have coconut aminos, that's okay too if you're soy free.
Hey,
Now
hey,
for
Sauce,
the
I promoted,
vinegar,
man.
I'm
I got
using
back to gold 1
coconut vinegar,
today.
which I did order off Amazon. You could just use white vinegar if you can't get a hold of
Hey,
it.
exactly what I'm doing, watching
And now
YouTube
I'm gonna
videos.
add in
I
a
didn't
couple
feel like
of
playing
flavors.
games or
Gonna add
anything.
some great flavor to this. You can even add a few more if you want. Next,
Maybe
some
later, but
peppercorns. I go a little heavy here because I want a little bit more spice. And then some palm sugar.
I was just telling
You
IoT
can
the
find this
gold
at
2
some
felt
specialty
way
grocery
different than
stores.
gold
If you
1.
don't have this, my buddy Sam.
At
said
least
you
this
could
week
use
it
brown
did.
sugar.
It
You don't
felt
have
like it just
brown
cruised
sugar,
through
you
this
can use
one this
white
week.
cane sugar. And then the next thing you want to do to sort of chill out a lot of this flavor is add in some water. This is
But
crucial.
gold
or else
ones
it's
just
gonna
seems
be
so much.
an incredibly
I don't
over
know.
salty mixture.
It
Give
was,
it a
it
whisk
was way
until
different.
it is completely combined.
He's making adobo way different than anyone else would
Like
make
I
it.
said, I
Making
doubled the marinade
the sauce and
recipe,
everything
so what we're gonna
first.
do is take half of it out and put it in a container to the side. You can just eyeball it. Don't worry about getting perfect measurements. Put it in the container and then set all of this goodness to the side.
That's funny that he says that. We don't measure nothing in Filipino cooking. Everything's eyeballed.
Which you can make
Not beef
stock with.
steak,
Now,
it's
you
beef
can add the
steak.
chicken right to the marinade in the bowl, but for me, I love those plastic zip bags. So what I'm going to do is load it up with all these chicken parts.
Although I'm not totally sure. He's going way overboard on just making
Then
adobo.
simply pour that marinade all over the top of the chicken in that bag. Once it's in there, give it a little zip. And then what I like to do is just move it around, get all those flavors incorporated into the chicken, back and forth, have some fun with it if you want, whatever.
Actually, that might be a nice way to keep it.
Then go over to the
ready
refrigerator
to be
and
cooked the
marinate
next
this
day.
overnight, or at least 12
Oh,
hours.
that's what he's
where
doing.
the flavor
Okay.
is. And then, you know what? When you wake up the next day in the morning time, I like to do
That's like
this the night
preparation
before.
for me to
Just
cook it
come
like next
in,
day. That's a
give
good
it
idea.
Another quick mix, get more of those ingredients moving. And
I never
then when
marinate
you're
my
ready
adobo. It's
to
just
cook it up
all
at
done the
lunch
same
or
day.
Dinner time, every little square centimeter is going to have that perfect marinade in it. So when you are ready to cook, what we're going to do is turn the heat to medium in a large frying pan or a large rondo pot for 2 minutes exactly. Then I'm going to pour in some peanut oil. It's a great frying oil for this. Now what we're going to do is go straight from the chicken in the marinade directly into that pan. If you need to cook this in batches, so be it. You don't want to overcrowd it. Oil will shoot up. Remember, this marinade is wet.
All right.
It takes
Yeah, he's
10
going
to 12 minutes
completely
for this to
AWOL.
get a perfect brown on them. You'll notice that that soy marinade will start to
No,
evaporate.
I don't fry
and
it.
will
You don't
start to
fry the chicken.
As soon as we put all the chicken in, though, crank the heat up to medium high. It's going to need that.
It's cooked in its own
After
sauce
that
or
10 to
in
12
the sauce or
minute
broth.
time, we are just going to flip the chicken over. You'll notice that it's nice and brown. You could even take it further if you want, but again, keep your eye on it. We're just going to flip it. After that
Okay.
2 minutes or so, come back and just take that chicken out and set it to the side. Now, if you had that extra marinade that you did not marinate the chicken in, you could pour it right to the pan, leave the chicken in there, but let's just pretend you didn't make it and you're using the marinade from the chicken. pour it into that rondeau pan or even a large frying pan, whatever you're using. Crank the heat to high, bring it to a boil, let it boil for 5 minutes.
I kind of have to
At
agree with him
this
with
point,
using the old
this will
marinade.
help kill
Not a
the
good
bacteria,
idea, but
the chicken was
especially with chicken, man,
marinating in
you
it.
never know what's going to transfer
Come back,
over.
add the chicken back in. What we want to do is cook it for 20 to 30 minutes, but immediately crank the heat down to low.
All right, I ain't gonna lie, that looked good though. That looked good. That's not how we make adobo, but that
and one
looks
of these
good.
days, time period, come back. Let's take off the lid. You can see beautifully brown. So much flavor in this.
Bruh.
Let's take it off and get ready to plate this beauty up. I definitely recommend serving this up in a bowl because you do want to add some of that liquid in there. You do not want this to be on a plate or else it's going to run everywhere. Get those peppercorns on there, so much flavor. Finish by garnishing up with some sliced green onions. And this recipe is so dang good. If you
Don't need the green onions.
Recipe and learn something, please smash that subscribe button.
The sauce
like
is
and share
so
it, and
strong.
check out this recipe right here.
You're not
I
even
made
gonna be
it
able to
just for
taste
you.
anything
Let's
else. Oh wait, he's
get in
gonna
there.
bite it. You're killing me. Wait, you got no rice with you. Filipino pancit from 1919. What the heck? I'm gonna be stuck watching Filipino stuff all night.